Oh, seven commanders. Commander Will Furion here of the Vortex Squadron, also known as Foxtrot Echo 1. I just wanted to clarify a few things that I might have said out on the internet recently. There was an event last weekend in HIP 22460 where the Xeno Strike Force, Commander Mechan, and the AXI groups, and possibly other smaller groups as well, went to the system to run a blockade against the Thargoids that have been there for quite some time since the Proteus wave was fired long, long ago. And apparently they were successful. And that's good and bad. The reason that it's good is obviously, Thargoids are bad, blah, blah, blah. But we also have to keep in mind that that same group frequents that area. The XSF and AXI groups frequent that area for training reasons because those Thargoids were consistent spawn, so they spawned over and over and over. They never stopped. They never, and you get pulled over. You get interdicted or hyperdicted constantly. It was very challenging. It was, for the top end pilots, I'm sure that was just a whole bunch of fun for them to be able to take on the larger Thargoids consistently, and over time, that's how you keep your skills ready. I don't believe that the Thargoids are done yet, right? So there's always going to be room to practice. If we continually remove the practice areas with events like blockades, then we won't have anywhere to train, and it'll be very detrimental to a good portion of the community that maybe started late in the war, or they bought these AX ships to help fight in Seoul, and then all of a sudden the war was over, and they were displaced and they had nowhere to go. The Vortex Squadron has been collecting these folks over time and taking them out to the Nebula so that they can practice. Now, I don't believe that they intended that XSF or AXI intended to actually succeed with the blockade, and I don't really like things that take play styles out of the galaxy, right? So, or training styles, as it were. That was kind of not a good idea. I don't like that because now it just makes things more difficult, and it's going to encourage the groups to try and do that elsewhere. Now, I'm not too worried about it as far as other groups, but if XSF is involved, they have a pretty good influence with the development team right now. So if they say, yeah, we're going to do this, then, the development team may react because of the amount of people they can pull in. Vortex Squadron is much, much smaller, so we don't expect we're going to have much impact, but we are intending to fight back against any further blockades, at least not the California Nebula. And if it's further away where it's hard to get to, don't really care about those because I have a hard enough time getting people to come to California. Although we do have a logistics system set up now, we have carriers running back and forth to the Nebula constantly, and so that way people can get stuff done in the bubble because there's still some things you have to do in the bubble, and then you can go back to the Nebula and continue fighting there. They also have a lot of systems in that area. They have conflict zones for the Thargoids, mediums and highs. They have several. They have all of the different styles of signal sources that you can jump into. Anything from scouts all the way up to hydras. So I think it's for like 3 to 9, something like that, or 2 to 9, something like that. Anyway, there's a lot, and not only that, but we've also been training AX pilots who have possibly purchased the pre-engineered AX multi-cannons, the azimuth versions, to use those for human fighting as well. And fortunately, the California Nebula also has a really, really tough compromised nav beacon that you can go to, and you can fight all kinds of baddies in there. You can collect all the bounties you want. There's a power play contact there. There's a Coriolis not far away, which has at least a encoded material trader on it. We have a lot of things. I'd love to see something like one of the rescue ships, possibly Cornwallis, come out to the California Nebula or near it, so that we could, farm for the parts for the Azimuth AX weapons, and then install them on our ships, and continue to utilize the stuff that some people paid, what is it, $20 or whatever American for a ship, and then they only got to use it for about a week. I mean, that's kind of crappy, you know what I mean? So we're glad to have this opportunity, and we hope it stays around for quite a while, so that we can continue to train people. And we learn. That's how we learn about the Thargoids, is we go out there and we fight them. And we understand that the war is over in Sol for now, but the California Nebula is not a threat to Sol. It's over 1,000 light years away, and a lot of pilots like to go out there and train and do things and hang out with each other. It's a great community out there. We're building, we're helping to build. I'm sure there's other groups out there. I'm not sure. I know there's a good sizable amount of Vortex Squadron people. We've been recruiting new people. We've got a lot of people that are, they join in different ways. Some are in games, some are in Anara, some are on Discord. I mean, we're very open to new people, and new people coming out with us and learning everything they need to know about Thargoid, and how to fight them, how to take them out, and that sort of thing. There's also it's basically like Disneyland out there. It's a huge place to hang out and just kind of do whatever type of combat you want to do with Thargoids. You pick your own adventure, so to speak. You can fight little guys, big guys, both kind of guys, and it's more of a conflict zone system where it's not a constant respawn. There's an actual conflict zone. You go through it, and we found other stuff out there as well. We've been putting together a list of all the different, shall we say, the different activities that you can do while you're out there in the nebula. There are mega ships. There are all kinds of things you can do, and we would like that to stay, and maybe get a once over on some of the systems there, because some of them are a little bit wonky. Maybe they're a little bit maybe they just need a little once over, or a polish, a little spit shine, whatever you want to call it. But in any event, we hope it stays there for a long time. So when we got word from the Galnet News Digest that AXI and XSF were, possibly looking at California Nebula, that got me a little upset, and I don't want that to go away. So in any event, Commanders, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below the video. My name's Commander Will Furion of the Vortex Squadron. 07, Commanders.